Painting light, one of my biggest inspirations. For those of you who are new here, my name is Erez, I'm a painter, and today we're gonna paint this small 25 by 25 centimeters. I will walk you through my approach and my thought process. It should be fun. Let's get to work.
So, how do we actually create a sense of light in our paintings? We need to take into consideration the overall value structure of the painting, and if we really want to create something bright, everything around it needs to be relatively dark. Secondly, we consider the color of the light source. Here we have a setting sun, and I also enhance the mood of the piece, pushing it towards the brownish and yellowish tones, so everything is kind of toned within the yellowish brownish colors as if it's affected by the sun. Lastly, because the sun in this painting is relatively close to the grouping of trees and the whole skies are illuminated more or less, everything that comes into contact with the skies needs to have more of the sky colors, and here I chose to exaggerate that to enhance the feeling of light and the glow. What I'm currently doing is to cover all of the surface with the general values and shapes, and I have my panel toned with a dry yellow tone. While I'm doing this underpainting, I also take into consideration the colors that will exist later, and I use combinations of raw sienna, burnt umber, and some lead white. I'm trying to make the paint pretty thin and transparent, as I know I will come back with second and third layers of detail and color. Finishing the first underpainting layer and letting it dry for a couple of days, I get into the second underpainting layer, and I'm still using the colors thinly and still thinking in general shapes, building up the values and leaving the details for later. But what I'm starting to pay attention to from this phase is the edges. I'm already softening them. Now, when creating light and its effects, I found out with the help of other artists and with experience that working in one layer of color is not always enough. Therefore, I'm planning the painting to have a few stages. We need to build the darks and the lights in the painting. As I said, it will appear as if the sun is illuminating the whole painting only and only if everything around it is relatively dark enough. I don't use my darkest dark because it will look out of place, and also I don't want to use pure black. I choose to use warm dark tones, mainly burnt umber currently, that it will indicate the warmth of the sun coming through the trees, and it's definitely something to take into consideration. Entering the first color layer, you can see that next to the light source, I'm using more intense yellowish tones as it helps emphasize the sense of light. And I spend a lot of time softening the edges, as I said, of the trees with the skies, creating smooth gradation. Then it will look as if the trees are really lit from behind and sits well in relation to the smooth skies. you will be able to see that the greens I use for those trees are in the yellowish brownish area, as I said, while I'm still trying to maintain my dark swarm. And even within the trees, I'm trying to keep the brush marks relatively soft within each other, the edges within the trees. I really like the effects it's giving, and yeah. Overall, there are many light effects and not all of them are to be painted this way. Each different scenario demands different treatment and things to take into consideration, but in creating a sense of light in your paintings, you need to consider the values in your composition and the right usage of colors to enhance the light effect you want to paint. I will also say that nature is the best teacher and you should really try to get outside as much as you can and observe everything. See how light interacts with the landscape, with objects, with everything, and you will start to get a sense or a better sense of how light works. It's an endless journey to, I feel like I'm just in the first step always. But observing all the time really helped me push my art forward, and I think it could help you too. I really like how this painting turned out in the end, and I didn't really prepare for it beforehand. I usually do sketches and color studies, but I had a really clear vision of how I want it to be in my mind, and it just happened. I will definitely make another video on this topic with a different theme, but until then, thank you for watching. I will let the video play now till the end, and I hope you are good wherever you are. Thank you.